right? All right. You ready? Call the committee meeting to order. Village clerk, please call roll.
Burgess. Here. Jones. Here. Myers. Here. Tate. Washington. Here. Williams. Here.
All right, and item number 2, we have an ordinance of the Village of Sauk Village, Cook County, and a will authorizing the approving of agreement for extension of collection and transportation of municipal solid waste by and between the Village of Sauk Village and the Republic. Everyone should have received the ordinance. This is just an ordinance that, along with that, should be the agreement that you all received last week. So, does anyone have any questions? All right, and we discussed it 2 hours and plus last week. So. No? Okay. I thought you raised your hand. All right, hearing none, we'll go to item number 3. Item number 3, we have the Intergovernmental Committee. This is Trustee Tates. You asked for these 4 items to be placed on the agenda. Can you pass that mic down, please? And how about if we just take them all and you just do them one at a time? So you've got the community service, the past student recognition, municipal tours, and review of the resident handbook.
Okay, board, everyone's attention is to item 3. Specifically, we're going to start with 3A. Now, before we go through this, I had mentioned a couple of weeks ago that I want to get a consensus of the board at a committee meeting before we try to put it on the agenda for voting into it. So it's time to get all questions and answers, hopefully out today. The first item is community service. I explained that Bloom Trail has a graduation requirement for its students to perform hours of community service. And from the IGRC partnership team, we noted that Sauk Village is not involved in that to the extent they possibly could be. We know that the library provides the opportunity for the Bloom Trail students to do community service at the library. And this summer,
If you have to, thank you.
this summer, some of the students volunteered to work at the community center, at the P.L.A.N Center, to do their community service. So it was an idea that the municipality, get involved and provide an opportunity for the students to do their community service requirement for Bloom Trail. Understanding that many of the students at Bloom Trail still reside in Sauk Village, so still village children, young people. But what this is going to take is that Sauk Village identify an employee, a person to head up the community service portion of this, for that person to interact with Bloom Trail and find out what the requirements are and everything that needs to be done from both ends. So that's the piece on community service. I think it would be a great benefit if the municipality participated in that, showing some ownership to the students and helping them out fulfill their requirement for graduation. But that's going to require, as I stated, someone be appointed to head up this community service, I'm not sure what to call it, program, and for them to interact with Bloom Trail and get all the details. And I imagine the mayor will appoint, if you agree upon it, as a board, if you agree upon it, the mayor would appoint someone to do that and do that interaction and face-to-face if necessary at Bloom Trail to make sure that we service our students as much as possible, and it's through the community service. Now, understanding that there's some places in the municipality that they cannot be involved in. For instance, we would not send them to the police station because of confidentiality reasons, but they certainly could go to the fire station. And there's certain things within this building, the senior center, the P.L.A.N Center, that the students could find things to do and could be checked off the list that they perform their community service. So To the board members, any questions from you, any thoughts from you, or concerns from you on the community service aspect of this?
Trustee Myers.
Will Trail pick up the workman' comp insurance for them? Or if somebody in our court system gets a community service, or would we have to, mostly the state has pretty much so said that the community service community service people, they will be under the Illinois Workers' Compensation Act. So pretty much so, it's all depends who the township or the yard, I would think. But do we have to provide any type of insurance if we start one owner being charged of this Sauk village?
I have not interfaced with them becoming one person to be the spokesperson for the municipality. So I have to get involved and talk to Bloom Trail to find out the details of how that goes. But I think what you maybe referring to is a criminal act. It's a criminal act, and they're doing community service as opposed to a high school graduation requirement. I think they may be different. So as far as liability and that type of thing. But if we decide to go through with this, whomever that contact person is from the village can certainly talk to Bloom Trail and find out all the details. And I'm sure they'll provide anything that we need to better understand how they want us to work with them.
Trustee Williams, did you have? Oh, you have another one?
Our individual representative, would he have to be with the students at all times? Or for instance, if they're doing community service, we can leave them at fire station. We will leave them in charge of the duty officer during the day.
That's correct. If they were needed in the fire station, then whomever the duty officer or the person in charge would need to sign off that that student showed up and worked 3 hours a day or whatever their requirement is. The same here in Village Hall or the Senior Center or Pedro Center, someone would have to sign off, not necessarily the contact person for Sauk Village, but whoever supervises that student would have to sign off the student did show up and he or she did perform the duties that were required of them.
Trustee Williams?
That's the person that happens for the criminal section of the community service through the court system is totally different.
Correct.
I just had a couple questions. You talked about before of how having a single person overseeing the situation. Were you thinking of an employee of the village, or were you going to take on that responsibility?
No, I think it should be an employee of the village who would then coordinate directly with Bloom Trail rather than any of the trustees being involved in that aspect of it. I think that it eliminates any complaints or concerns or biases that trustees may show toward a student because they're in charge of that. I think it should be someone totally independent of the board who would just simply coordinate with Bloom Trail and say, how do we do this? How can we interface with you? What do you need us to do as a municipality to support your program? So it's just a coordinator, really, from the village.
Do you have any, have you thought about who that might be, or is that something that the board, for the board to kind of discuss and propose?
No, well, see, I don't know what the organizational structure is in the village. So I did not come up with anyone in particular that would handle that. I figure if the board agreed upon doing this, then that becomes the mayor responsible to appoint someone or designate someone, or however that would work, to do that. And he could figure out, or he would know who has a heavy enough workload, or workload is too heavy to do that extra task.
Okay, that's what I was concerned about.
Trustee Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I just want to say that I hope that we've talked to the attorney about it to see if this is legal, if we can do this, because doing my presentation just for a summer program for Junior Neighborhood Watch, all I was going to have young people to do is walk along with a block captain down the street and write down addresses of vacant buildings. But now I'm hearing that you all want young people to actually come into the village, different entities, the fire station, the municipal building, work with an employee who is getting paid to do their job. I'm an employee in my job. I don't want to be responsible for somebody else watching this young person from whatever high school, wherever I work, to make sure that they're doing what their community service is, and it's going to be put on the mayor or somebody else to be responsible for. I feel that this is a program or that the high school has been doing forever, and they never had to have us involved at that level. I feel that they should continue to do it, whatever they've been doing in the past, they should continue with that practice. That's just my opinion, because like I say, I tried to have a junior neighborhood watch program. I have 40 adult block club captains, and all I wanted them to do was to be able to be off the street and be safe and just walk with an adult and write down addresses of vacant homes and sit in on neighborhood watch meetings and hear how the neighborhood works from that point of view. But now this is way more detailed and much more responsibility to get involved with the school's officials to make sure that whatever employee that they are assigned to, whatever they come to work that day, and that employee is not there. Then who's going to take on the responsibility of giving them and delegate them work to do? What if they don't have a ride when they leave here? If their ride can't pick them up and the village is closed and it's snowing or raining, who's going to transport them? Are they going to be covered by our insurance? It's just a lot entailed with this program. So, I mean, I was just really confused on how all of this is coming about, but I just hope that the attorney, as it was presented to me with Junior Neighborhood Watch, have been consulted and we've gotten their views on the legalities and parameters of us having young people here under our supervision working their community service.
Trustee, I think you bring up some good points. I have to say, I'm in favor of this. For years, Sauk Village used to use community service. I remember even in my younger years seeing people come to community service. I know there's things that they can't do that like we used to do. Community service, you used to have them out there pushing a lawnmower or using weed eaters, and you can't do stuff like that anymore. But what you're bringing to us sounds like it's young people graduating from high school that have put so many hours of community service in that I'm in favor. Number one, we can always use more help. Number two, I think that a policy needs to be put together, and I don't know if you want to start working on a policy, if you want to form a committee, something we can come back so that we all can see, okay, this is what they can do and what they can't do. If you need some help, I can help you. But again, I think this is a great program. I'm 100% in favor of it because what it helps is our young people graduating from high school, they get to see what it's like inside an office, working behind, dealing with people. They could be answering phones, they could be filing, they could be doing all kinds of things like that. And I'm sure that the department heads can think of a lot more. I know fire department right has tons of filing that needs to be done. But it shows the kids before they get out into the workforce and before they go to college, it gives them something to do, plus they're putting in those community services. So I think it's a great program. I appreciate you bringing it to us.
Okay, yeah, a couple of things. I do not think, and Trustee Mike brought up earlier of your concept, which had to do with more the criminal justice aspect of it. And I think Neighborhood Watch is totally different and should not be intermingled or mixed up with this, because what the children would do, young people would do for Neighborhood Watch is nothing compared to what they would be doing for the village. They work in the library. The library uses many of students from Brick over there, and I have not had any question or heard any question about them being bonded or attorneys blessing it or that type of thing. We had young people working in the P.L.A.N Center for the summer camp and it was not an issue then. Now, if there are reservations from anyone on the board and you don't want to do this, I just want a consensus that before we put it on the agenda to be voted on. And if you don't want any parts of it, that's fine. I'm okay with that, but I just want the board to know what we had discussed, what we had thought about doing, that would be a benefit to the whole community of Sauk Village, because it shows that not only when the students leave Rickover Junior High School, but they go to Trail, that they're still Sauk Village residents, their parents, relatives still live here, and we have that input. So that's what this is all about. It's not about anyone getting any special treatment, accolades, or any of that, because the partnership team has no interest in receiving accolades. They just want to be able to support the kids in meeting their requirements so they can graduate. That's the bottom line. Finding a way to ensure that they can graduate.
Trustee Jones?
Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but we do use Bloom too, correct? And Candlelight, don't the students over there go to Bloom?
Yes.
Right. So
Weatherstone's the only one that goes to, but it's an evaluating right there, so.
right. So if we're going to include the whole, we may have to get in contact with Bloom and Bloom Trail to include, because Candlelight students go to Bloom.
Well, see, when the partnership team met, Bloom Trail came up because of the library using those students. And I think for us to expand it, yes, Bloom Township has students who are residents of Sauk to put on for the first time out. I would rather initially start with Bloom Trail so we can fine tune it and see how it works. And the next school year, if it works well, then we can go to Bloom Township and say, we'd like to be a part or partnership with you. But we are not in favor of stretching ourselves out that far and doing two schools at the same time.
Well, I think the trustee's looking for a consensus before he goes any further, and I guess I would ask is the trustee board in favor of him going forward for this program? I know I've got 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we have 5 in favor for you to go ahead and move forward. I think this is a great program. Like I said, if you need help, let us know. I don't know if you want to start working on a policy, or you want someone. Are you looking for someone else to put a policy together?
No, I would rather, so they can live by it, I would rather for the person that you have the community services over person, that they put it together, because they're going to have to live with it. So rather than me writing something and then they have to live by it, I would rather for them to create it, and they say, this is what I like to see, and then have something they can follow.
All right. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Have a policy in place. I know, in fact, we had a young lady, and we also had a gentleman. They're making it part of, before they graduate, we have to put in X amount of hours of community service. So is the other schools around the area. I know the school, junior high school over there in Sager. Before you get out of 8th grade, you must have at least 16 hours. My niece is allowed that one. She ended up working at a bakery, but it's community service, and they do have. I know they have a policy already rolled up and everything. And it spells out pretty point blank, and their board already approved it.
All right. So we'll look into that. And again, if you could just give me till the next committee meeting, I will bring someone back before this board and get your all's approval. So, and then we'll work on, you said the application?
And any materials, I'll get those materials prior to then and make sure that you get them and have them in hand so that when you start talking to people, you'll be able to kind of read whatever it is that they're looking for at Bloom Trail.
All right, I appreciate it. I'm not going to do it.
No.
But it's something I can hand off to the person that you all approve.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, I appreciate it. Yes, you had a question.
Make a suggestion of whoever is going to, whoever you're choosing or whatever. I know that a couple years ago, we had an opportunity to get, they were paid individuals, but they were from District 206. We had to come up with a number, and I think that that should be part of the policy, because I guess Trustee Meyer stated, they obviously have a policy, District 206 does, because this is something they put into place, but we do have I don't know the exact number of high school students we have, high school seniors we have in Sauk Village that go to Trail, but I'm sure that there's more than 15 or 20, and I don't know that Sauk Village could accommodate the schedules for more than 15 or 20 kids, so I think that's something to think about, to look into, because I think the last time, and I don't remember, but I think we had 20 young adults that came over to supplement the fire department, supplement the police department. Chicago Heights or somewhere else, you know. So I don't want to open up this opportunity and get flooded with 50, 60 kids and everything accommodated.
I think once we get the information, what's going to be important, I'm sure it's so many hours you have to put in, where before we had an entire summer.
Yeah.
So there is a large difference. So let's get all the information, let's find out how many hours. Do me a favor, put some time down so we can meet on this and try to start putting our heads together on this one. So I can come back before the board and then put me down on the next agenda, next committee meeting agenda, so it'll be the first Tuesday in September, right? All right. Trustee Johnson.
I think it's 10 hours for the regular students, and then it's 30 hours for National Honor Society students.
It's not that much.
Yeah, so what happened this summer was, I mean, the camp was open for 6 hours, so a day and a half for one kid, one young adult, and then a day and a half for another, and I don't know how many, we went through quite a few. They got their requirements in through the summer. So it don't take that much.
Right.
Yeah. But still, to be organized and know what we're getting will definitely, definitely will help.
All right, we good on this one? We'll go to the next one.
Okay, the second item, item B, is it states pass student recognition, and the partnership team renamed this alumni recognition, which sounds, I guess, better than past student recognition, being politically correct. And this program is to recognize students who left 168, graduated from 168, and went on and did other things in the world. I started hearing about someone who's a physician now on the West Coast that came out of 168 and went through college, and they're a physician out there somewhere. But it's those type of things, that students who graduated from 168 and they became doctors, or they became lawyers, or they became coaches or something that deserves recognition. And often, as we know, as adults, we know that recognition kind of goes to those who do negative things instead of positive things. And it's positive that they went on and further their education and they're doing something good in the world. So that's what the partnership team had in mind when they came up with alumni recognition. I had stated that part of that would be, they would like to have a informal ceremony on a non-board meeting night, so it won't affect anything the village needs to get done. That they would perhaps come here and awards will be given, their parents will be invited, their grandparents will be invited to say, hey, Sauk Village recognizes you for what you've done after you left District 168. So that's what they had in mind when we started talking about alumni recognition. Any questions, comments? Yes.
How far back are you looking to go as far as the alumni?
We have not established a date, a year I should say, that we're going to go back, because we're going to depend, and you had asked a question about nominees a couple of months ago. See, I remember that. And we're going to start out taking nominees from Bloom Township, because they have a roster, I shouldn't say a roster, they have a list of students and where they are, what they're doing, and that type of thing. So we're going to utilize their information to start bringing these people out. So I'm not sure how far back that goes. We can take a look at that. But as I explained to you last time, there's certainly a thought that once we get this started, that certainly we can open it up and take nominations from you or anyone else who has a next door neighbor that they remember, and this child, young person, is doing something really good, really positive. But we want to start and limit to just getting recommendations from Bloom Trail. Again, we want to keep it narrow. We want to make sure that we tweak it and then do what we need to do to make sure it's a successful program. So that's why we limited it to get nominations from Bloom Township, because they have some of the information recorded already. So we are recreating the wheel or searching out and starting from ground zero.
Now, this is something that your committee is going to do, correct? Or are you?
Yeah, the partnership team will be working on that, yeah.
Okay.
We just need your approval to come in here one Wednesday or one Thursday and have the ceremony, that type of thing.
I think this is another great program. Again, I thank you for bringing something positive to the board. This is, I'm very much in favor of this also. Is there any trustees? I see shaking of heads, yes. Do we have a majority that's in favor? I see a majority in favor. Thank you very much.
You can go to the agenda.
Can I just ask that once, I'm assuming at the ceremony there would be probably something read, a bio or some sort of whatever. I think that would be something that would be nice to put in Sauk Talk. And like, so once you guys have that, whoever the press secretary of the IGRC, but then maybe that can come back to us and put the Sauk Talk. So people who may not be able to come to the ceremony, but then still get the Sauk Talk, would be able to say, oh, this person is from Sauk Village, or
That'd be great.
they want to do that.
It'd be great to put it right on top of our the front of our Facebook page. I'm sorry, our website, Sauk Village website. You have it right there, person recognized and picture.
Yeah, and that would piggyback on what Clerk Williams did with Someone You Should Know, I think was the name of it. And where, photographs were taken and they got some recognition. That's what it's about.
All right. So you have to let me know if you want something on the agenda, or you can let the village clerk know. Just let us know when you're ready.
Item 3C, municipal tours. Now, this is a little more complicated. We've contacted some of the businesses in Sauk Village and say, we want to bring students around and let them take a look at what the workforce is like, what people are doing. Of course, the major companies, so to speak, that deal with food service, we cannot have them to go behind the counter because of the grease and all that good stuff. We're looking at maybe getting them into one of the factories that we have out here so they could just take a short tour, take a look at that. Now, we call this municipal tours because we want them to be able to see the P.L.A.N Center, the senior center. I'm not sure the police station will be a good choice, but this municipal building, because it's buildings that they probably heard about, have never been inside, have never seen them, and they'll be going around just to take a look at it. So it may take someone to talk to the young people for maybe 15 or 20 minutes and say, this is the village hall, this is where the meetings are held, the mayor's office is there, so they become familiar with it. And it's not a foreign object in their life, but it becomes a familiar object in their life because they know about the P.L.A.N Center, they know about the senior center, they know about this. So we figured that we'll probably be talking maybe 30 or less students, and it may take 2 or 3 hours to do all of our stuff, meaning P.L.A.N senior here. It may take 3 hours or less to do that. So we may want to, depending on how many students we sign up, we may want to have maybe 3 separate days set aside because we don't want to tie up staff all day on the tours. So we may have let's say 3 days that we're going to do the tours and then 3 different groups of young people. And they can spend 2 hours or whatever that time turns out to be. But again, they become familiar with the community that they live in and the buildings they've heard about. They've heard about this building. They've heard about the P.L.A.N Center. I'm sure they probably don't know anything about the senior center. So they become more familiar when they see all these structures. What goes on inside that structure? That kind of question will be answered by the tours. And again, it's going to require that some employee take them on those tours and talk to them, and explain things to them as they're looking at them. And that's something that we think is going to be real beneficial. As I said, we're going to work with some of the businesses, and see if we can get them to open their doors just for a few moments and let the 30 students or whatever their number turns out to be come in and take a look-see. Questions? Comments?
Trustee Reeves.
We do something extremely similar for Student Government Day, and it does take about 3 hours once you hit all the different municipal buildings. But my question is that you said that as employees take them around, how we structured it was the committee was kind of the tour guide, but at each stop we had it prepared where when we got to the fire department, somebody would be there to say, this is what we do. Here's
Yeah, there'll be someone from the partnership team that will coordinate each group. Let's call them a group that come for the tour, but they'll bring them in. Let's say they'll bring them in here, and if the mayor's here, they'll say, you know, Mr. Mayor, these are our students, and then he will give his spiel, and maybe even delegate from Mr. Fairman to take them somewhere, or Clerk Williams to do something different. But yeah, no, there will be someone from the partnership team that will coordinate getting them to the locations, and then kind of handing them off and let the experts talk about what they do in the job or what's going on with that. So yeah, the partnership team will be involved in that. Questions or comments?
Trustee Myers.
While I was doing the inspection of WinPAC and while I was teaching the fire extinguisher, the new CEO stressed that he wanted to get involved in the community, and I asked him, so, well, would you mind having tours of the plant? It's a beautiful facility and make plastic caps and everything. And he said, well, I have no problem. Let me run it through my insurance companies. If they have a problem with it, and then I'll get back to you. If you like, I will contact them tomorrow and find out if you ever found out anything. Yeah. That's a beautiful facility.
And you and I and Margaret Campbell Pruitt, who's sitting out here, who's not only the vice president of the school district, she's also the chair for the partnership team. So we can talk after this meeting for a few moments and get that ironed out. And there's things that the partnership team will need to do as far as the other businesses and interface with that. But they're all certainly on board with doing that. And just to get it off the ground and get it started. So the partnership, everybody in the partnership team has agreed to be involved and get these things started. Because they're new things. They're brand new things in some respects.
Well, hopefully WinPAC does work, because that place is just unbelievable. I don't think the residents of Sauk Village really realize. I've been on a few tours this year, especially when we're working on the expansion project. It's just unbelievable. It's mind-boggling to think that this is sitting here in Sauk Village when you walk there. It's beautiful. And no windows in it.
So those are the items, and unless there's some objections, again, that's an item that we'll need to certainly vote on before we go forward with it. But I'm going to get with you, and we'll talk about the businesses in Sauk Village and make them kind of one packet. Since we're talking about tours, make that one packet and marry that in with municipality. So that's something that we'll take care of and we'll do.
And this is another great positive program. I appreciate it. Appreciate what you brought tonight. Do me a favor, let me know the dates and stuff that you're looking at, and I'll make sure that I work with JW. And if I'm not here, we'll make sure that the staff is here to help you. And aware of it, correct. Yeah, because they might want a couple of days just in case they want to do some cleanup or picking up before you go through.
We will make sure they get advance notice.
All right. Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, the final thing that I have is a review of the resident handbook. And I had mentioned a couple of meetings ago about the handbook. Now, Trustee Burgess and I are part of the house. We are the housing committee. And we had decided that one thing to do was to look at the resident handbook, because I had talked to residents who've been out here for a few years and they never received the handbook when they moved into Sauk Village. And it's a very important document because it tells them a lot of the things they need to know about Sauk Village. It identifies the businesses. It talks about payment of water bills. So there's a lot of things that we think that new residents should have a document that they can refer to and find out what's going on in the community that they just moved into. So we were going to create this document, and I happened to be talking to Director Jasinski, who said, oh no, we have a resident handbook, but she said, well, we haven't updated it in a while. So that's how the document that I handed out to all the trustees, that's how I got that from Director Jasinski. And Trustee Burgess and I went through that document, and the copies that I gave you were highlighted on those things that we know that need to be changed. Either if the information was incorrect, the information is a little old and obsolete. So it's just updating so that when we put this back in print again, the residents know exactly what's going on in Sauk Village. And one item that I found kind of curious in there was it said that you could pay your water bill at the Paisley Center, something like that, and we all know that's not true. So that's the kind of thing that we kind of keyed in on to change. And I said we highlighted all of those areas that we were recommending be revised. Some of them require to be updated. There's something in there about the last vote on Lake Michigan water. I think that's what it said. Changed. The votes have changed because that was passed shortly after that. The referendum was passed. So it's just updating some of the information that's in there. And I hope everyone had, all the trustees, you've had a chance to take a look at this. And I can certainly go, I mean, we can go through this rather quickly.
Trustee, I don't know if we really need to go through this. I guess the question is, I think, yes, part of your committee, you have taken it on to go ahead and make the changes?
Correct.
I would go ahead and make the changes and then come back to the board and say, here's the changes we made. And just, you know, let them look at it then. And have everyone contact you if they found anything else. Because you passed this out like, what, 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Right. But see, I want to make sure that, well, maybe you can help with this, is that Director Jasinski, if I give this to her, she would know it's okay for her to make those changes. So that's why I want the board to make sure we approve this first before it's handed out to her, because she has all of the stuff.
Has she given you an electronic version?
No, she has that.
Okay, let's get an electronic version. You can make all the changes, make your changes, come back to the board and say, here's the changes that, it comes as a recommendation from the housing committee, then we make these following changes.
Okay, I can do that. Mr. Administrator, would you make sure that she sends that to me?
And I'll tell you what, make sure she copies me, because then I'll make sure you get it.
Okay.
All right?
A question.
I found some changes that need to be updated, so do you want me to just give this to you?
You know, that or email it to them.
You said you were going to give those to me last time we talked.
Right, you told me to hold on to it today, so I thought we were gonna go like page by page, but that's not what we're gonna do. Do you want me to just give you this? Do you want me to email it?
Do you prefer, I mean, trustees, do you need us to go page by page? Or, it depends on how you want to do this.
There's just, I think that they're, like with Homeland Security, called as in here, things that I think would probably come out in a revision anyway. Obviously, our coordinator, our job is not in here anymore. There's just some minor.
Why don't you just give those to me?
Because I'll tell you what, it's going to be a lot easier once you give us a revision to go through it. Because what's going to end up happening is we'll sit here and go through this tonight. Some changes have already been made, and when we get back to revision, then everyone's going to start seeing a bunch of other stuff. I think it'd be a lot easier once you see a revision in your hands, going through it.
Yeah, and you remember our Artie Johnson, and that's one of the things that was highlighted on a copy that I handed out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you have
Yeah, there's parts in here that are highlighted.
If you just provide that to me, then when I get the electronic copy, I could then incorporate those things and then come back.
Copy and paste.
Okay. No. Don't want to do that.
Anything that you can't understand, just call me. I was writing kind of quickly.
We had that conversation also.
But yeah, just,
Your handwriting. Okay.
But the main thing that the main thing is, and it may not matter to anybody else, but other than the road officers or the holidays observed, if we can put those in a chronological order as far as when they occur in the year.
Which,
Under village offices, it's like the 4th page in. It's like holidays observed, Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, Thanksgiving, Friday after Thanksgiving, and then Thanksgiving is the last on the list. It just doesn't make sense. We can just put it in chronological order.
perfectionist. Okay.
Those things kind of,
All right.
All right?
Any other questions or comments?
Trustee Washington, that question.
all of the copies that I handed out to the trustees were highlighted just like this is. Okay, I'll make sure you get that.
All right. Any other questions? Trustee March.
I do have a history of the Sauk Village Fire Department. We can't turn it over, then you take as much as that as you want. Start right from day one to trucks and manpower and everything. I'll get that to you, and then you can, whatever you want.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, anything else? Okay, Mr. Mayor, that's all I have.
All right, thank you very much, trustee. All right, move to public comment. All questions or comments must be directed to the mayor. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes to comment on topics of their choice. Each speaker will be allowed 1 opportunity to speak. If you would, please come to the mic. The first person, if you would, just make sure the green button's on. I don't know, Rosie, can you just double check that, please? You gotta hold that button until the green light comes on. All right, then just state your name for the record.
Mary Klopp. Just have a couple quick questions. What is the difference if you had volunteers for beautification or volunteers from Bloom Trail, the students pulling weeds or helping clean up the community? And are the volunteers for, say, beautification and the kids that help clean up covered under the village's insurance?
Is that all you have?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna find out about the insurance. That's the first question. Second one, you asked what the difference is in volunteers. I think beautification committee, their volunteers don't get paid or community service, where this program that he's presented tonight would allow these individuals to get community service for doing things like that. Hours.
Okay.
All right, am I correct, trustee? All right, thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. I'm Margaret Campbell Pruitt, and I'm going to wear 2 hats tonight. First, speaking on behalf of the school district and the Sauk Village Intergovernmental Committee. I just want to say that we have come together, all of the taxing entities in our village, and we are working so very well together. And as a result, we had 3 trustees to come yesterday to our ribbon breaking ceremony. We have new parks now. We have new water filtration system in our schools, and playgrounds. It's just first class, and our youngsters are going to be very pleased to come back to school tomorrow. So I just really want you to know what is happening in the school district, and to say thank you also to the trustees who were out there with us yesterday. Putting on another hat, I'm here also representing Lincoln Meadows Community Club, and I'm going to ask all of my fellow residents from Lincoln Meadows to please stand and don't you see that?
Hang on, I think you're just dying.
Give me my minutes. These are my neighbors, and we meet in the police department once a month. Once again, showing that our village is really working for residents, and we thank and appreciate that as well. We also appreciate the diligence that's being done by Public Works. By Public Works in terms of helping us to keep the front maintained. There's still just a few other items though that require your attention, and that's why we're here today to discuss those. I'm going to specifically talk about those wonderful, beautiful new lights that we got throughout the village. They're horrible. They're so dark. The block is darker now than it's ever been when we even had just one bulb out. You can't see. So I would just invite someone to make a visit after hours in the evening so that you can just really see how dark it is and that it creates a safety issue. Thank you.
All right, first of all, on your first hat, I'd like to say congratulations to all the work that the school has done. Secondly, on that part, I'd like to apologize for not being able to make it. I tried my best yesterday, but I was caught in the rainstorms coming home. So traffic was terrible. I didn't get back here in the village, I think until it was after 5:30. I know the village clerk was calling me, asking me, are you going to be there, are you going to be there? And I said, I'm sitting in a parking lot, literally. So again, I apologize for that. Second of all, if you would, JW, what we'll do is those lights have a setting in them. We'll see if we can have Kevin go out there and see what they're set at, because again, remember, those are energy efficient lights. So that they have pods in them or something they call, they may be set too low. Let's find out. All right?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My name is Debbie Robinson, and I'm from Lincoln Meadows Subdivision. And I'm just going to piggyback on Marva because I was going to speak about the lights, more specifically the one at the front entrance. A lot of times when it's out, it's very dark, and I've passed it up several times, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. So I just wanted to see if someone can come out, but you just mentioned that it was on some kind of timer, so maybe it can just be reset to come on more often than not. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Board of Trustees. My name is Edna Johnson, and I'm a resident of Lincoln Meadows as well. As many of you may be aware, many homeowners have contacted the mayor in addition to Public Works regarding an extremely large hole which is on the corner of Southbrook Drive and Oakbrook Court, and that's on the northwest side of the street. The hole has existed in that location for well over 2 years. And my question to you, Mayor, is what is the timeline for getting the hole repaired? My second question is regarding the water meter charge for new homeowners. It is my understanding that Sauk Village residents pay $250 for the usage of the water meter. However, Lincoln Meadows residents, in addition to Deer Creek residents, pay $275 for the usage of the water meter. Can you explain or perhaps justify why Lincoln Meadows and Deer Creek are paying an additional $25 when all other homeowners in Sauk Village are paying $250 versus the $275 that we're paying? I also looked at the Sauk Village website today, and there is a note indicating that there is a $15 to establish a utility account. Thank you.
All righty. On the corner there, Oakbrook Court, I can't give you a timeline right now. I don't want to give you a timeline, but I will have JW get back with me. Let me know when we can have it, okay? Because all it is a pothole, right?
It's a sinkhole.
Oh, you have a sinkhole?
Very dangerous.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll have to get with Kevin to find out about that one. All right. On the water meter charge, I have to be honest with you, I don't know. Okay. I know you said 250 versus 275. We'll look into that, and then you can let me know. All right. And the utility account, I'm sure that $15 is probably by ordinance. So that's probably what it's set up. Again, I don't know about if the water meters are different. I don't know. So yeah, we'll have to take a look at it. So all right. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Leslie, Mr. Mayor, and I'm a resident of Lincoln Meadows, but I also own property outside of my subdivision in Sauk Village, and I'm actually the one who went there and saw that the charge was different. And when I asked specifically to the person who was assisting me, and I think Sue was working with me that day, why was there a difference in charge? Because I saw it posted, and she said the same thing that you did. She didn't know when I asked her were the water meters different, and she stated no.
We'll look into it. So,
When can we expect an answer or a response?
I should have an answer before the next village board meeting. All right? I need a response for the next village board meeting.
Bernice Brewer, can you tell me, even though I'm directing my question to the mayor, I would love for you, Trustee Williams, to address it and come back with us with an answer. I would like to know what's the balance in the water fund, and I also would like to know how much money is owed to the water fund, and when should we expect repayment of that money? Also, as I understand that the water bill went out for the south side around August 1st, and we'd like to know how much revenue came in. We also would like to know how much is paid to Republic.
based on, did they send us an invoice or did we send them an invoice? So we like to know how much money was generated and who generated the invoice. Second, the last thing about that subject is that, considering all the chaos last week, nobody actually explained to us what happened to the money that residents have already paid for the garbage collection. So we would like to know, give us a breakdown of what happened to our money that we have already paid. Next question is, for the last 10 months, Mr. Mayor, you have indicated that Illinois EPA loan was reduced by $825,000. We would like to know, when are you going to have those supporting documents for us? We haven't been able to get it from you as of yet. You have also indicated that an ordinance which indicates that residents pay $10.50 per 1,000 gallons. You also said that you were going to give us a copy of the supporting documents. However, in response to the report request on these two items, the employees cannot find any supporting documents. I want to know when are we going to be have those documents available for the public to review. That's the end of my question.
All right. I thought for sure I saw this was answered in a FOIA. And it's online. In fact, you were the one that issued FOIA. So the IEPA loan, all that information is under FOIA. In fact, it's under your name. It's under the IEPA loan. I'm almost positive I saw all the documents on there. So,
Can you forward this to me?
yeah, I'll find out. So, all right, and then these balances and stuff we don't have before us, so we'll be able to get to those. We tried to explain a little bit last week about the garbage, the scavenger service, and we put out thing here. So when you look at the, I guess I could read some of this here. Put this out to clear out the misinformation and rumors. Sauk Village currently has a garbage contract agreement which was signed by former Mayor Lewis Towers, which included the increase of $16.75 per month from April 11th through March 12th. An increase was supposed to be at $17.50 per month from April 12th through the 13th. And they were supposed to be at 5% or CPI, whichever was less per year. Currently, the village residents are paying $18.43. What there was is there's quite a few years there where there was no increases. The last increase happened, I think it was either the end of last year or the beginning of this year, I don't remember which. But the residents are currently paying $18.43. So when you talk about the funds, whatever came into the village was paid. And as soon as we found out that there was an issue, it was when Mohan brought it to JW's attention, said that the amount owed to the Republic is more than what we're receiving from village residents. So they did a ton of investigations. We found out, number one, that they were underpaid. And that was brought up last week. There was about $228,000 that was still owed to them because of underpayment. And then there was about another $163,000 that came out because of everything from, and again, we were able to find all this information because of all the investigation going into it, okay? Where residents left, not paying their bill. We had at the time, 90 plus squatters living in homes. What they did was they wouldn't turn the water on. Their garbage was getting collected. So what we saw was we were getting billed for houses where we did not see the money come in because people were living in homes, they were squatting in homes, not paying a water bill, not paying a garbage bill. So there's a lot of things that we put in place to make sure that this didn't happen again. We've got, if you remember going back to where we started putting stickers on houses, so we knew houses that did not have water service. We knew that we started looking at what was being charged. We put together checks of the houses and stuff like that. We've also looked at getting the squatters out. I think as of last week, Sherry's report said we were down to what, 16? Don't quote me on that. Yeah, squatters. I think it was right around 16, so we got that number down. We're working on getting the rest of those squatters out. We've really pushed to turn water off because when you don't have water, you're not getting garbage. We're also reporting those to Republic. when we turn water service off, your garbage service stops. So until you pay your water bill, you will not get garbage, so that Sauk Village does not get charged. There's a lot of things that went into this to find out what was happening and why we got to this point. So the important thing is to realize is that as soon as we found out we had an issue, we started to go off and try to find out why. And it took quite a few months getting on there with going off, find out how many vacant homes, and housing authority. They were a major help trying to find out, all the vacant homes, getting them identified, making sure that we were not getting charged for those homes. And again, that's part of Sherry's responsibility. Getting to where we are, we found out how we got to where we are, making sure it doesn't happen any further. So, again, when residents were paying their garbage bill was getting paid to Republic. The problem is, we found out that we were being charged more than what people were paying. So, we're working in part of the agreement that we've got with Skyline. We'll continue putting out monthly reports. Make sure Skyline only picks up garbage and only charges us for garbage for people who paid their water bills. And Skyline, or I keep on calling Skyline, Republic, has agreed to make sure that they do semi-annual audits also. So they'll be looking at our reports that we're sending them. They will be doing semi-annual audits to make sure that we're all only getting charged what we're supposed to. So again, I know I've heard that, where's the money? Well, the money that was coming in was being paid to Republic. So, all right, thank you.
I emailed the finance director your question. I emailed the finance director your question. Oh, okay, thanks.
Good.
Mr. Mayor, my name is Francine Anderson, and I live at 1606 216th Street. I have several questions. One, you did answer partly when you talked to Ms. Brewer about the contract with Republic. Is it true that there's a 20-year contract with a 3% increase per year?
Please, let me speak.
The other thing is that this contract, if signed today, how much more time do we have left on the previous contract? So with the added 20 years or 10 years or whatever it is, how many exact years will it be that we are out of this contract, or that we will owe the public, period, and be able to establish a new contract? Then my other question, sir, deals directly with crime in Sauk Village. I understand that there was a shooting on Peterson, and we have one person dead and 2 people injured. I read an article in the Sauk Talk that said that it was a decrease in crime. And I want to know, where did you get those numbers from? If I'm experiencing it and the other citizens are experiencing it, then where did it come from? How is crime down? In my neighborhood, they're still breaking in homes. The shootings happen on Peterson. They happen in all areas of our town. So I would like to know what's being done exactly, sir. The other thing, Mr. Mayor, I am interested in finding out is the attorney fees. Are they continuing to surmount? And if so, at what percentage rate are the attorney fees being paid, and how much do we still owe them? And have you considered amending your budget so that you can also add these other items that you have added to the budget that we did not get an opportunity to do a public hearing on, because you never allowed the public to speak at that meeting about the budget that you presented? That was 13 pages that showed us a $1 annualized benefited increase in tax accruement that we received. I will answer wait for my answers, and then I also wanted to know, you told Deer Creek, Lincoln Meadows, that you would have an answer for them. How would they get that answer? Are they to look on the website, or are you going to send something to their homes?
All right. Sorry, you want to get one time to speak? All right, so, no, it's one time. It's about 3 minutes at one time, all right? So, It's always good to have you, former trustee Anderson. Thank you very much. You always stick me to my toes there, so you're always welcome. I see you far and few between. All right, we'll go over the Republic Service Agreement. In fact, I'll cover all the things that you talked about. When it comes to crime, the reporting that we do comes from the Illinois State Police, if I remember right. So those are numbers that are reported. It's numbers that they come down with. Again, we're looking at the crime rates. It's looking at from a year on year. I think if it's a 12 or year on year. The attorney fees I don't have before me. You talked about how to answer the Deer Creek. I said I would make an announcement at the next village board meeting. So we'll have those answers, and JW's got those written down. So, no, I'm sorry, I think she said Deer Creek, but make a mouse. Okay, I'm sorry. So let's go through this agreement real quick. And what I did was I put out what the new agreement is, what the current agreement is, and what the change is. When we look at the new agreement, first of all, the new agreement I'll tell you, I'm gonna go back to the current first. Current agreement, the Village of Sauk Village owes Republic $389,905.44. The new agreement will revert back to zero starting October 1st, and the bills start from October 1st. This saves the village residents from having to pay out of general funds $389,905.44. Again, that was due to underbilling, vacancies, lack of residents making water bill payments. The second thing is the monthly rate. Currently, Sauk Village is paying $18.43. The new rate, that's per month. The new rate will be $19.64. That's an increase of $1.21 per month. Under the old agreement, there was no senior rate that was inside the agreement. Under this agreement, we've got, if you're a senior, 65 years or plus, and you have at least one living in your house, you will get $1 less a month for your your garbage bill. This language was added. It's brand new to this new agreement. Seniors, think about the first year, your rate will only go up 21 cents per month for seniors. Again, that's starting October of 2016. The annual increase, excuse me, you're correct, it's a 3% annual fixed rate, where before it was a 5% over the previous year's CPI, whichever is less. We talked about the change, we went to a fixed rate and a lower percentage rate. Recycling, under the old agreement, or the current agreement, of course we're still under the current agreement, you get free weekly pickup with purchase of blue bags for recycling. Under the new agreement, service will include recycling, and residents will receive a 95-gallon tote, and there'll be bi-weekly pickup. What happens here is the change is village residents will no longer have to purchase blue bags, and the totes will be provided free of charge. The contract length, the current one ends in 2020. The new agreement is now 2030. That is a 10-year extension on top of the current. So I can't really say current because the board already approved the agreement. So, but under the old one, under house counts, there was nothing going on. Village residents were getting, or the village and the residents were getting charged for all the houses. And now we have Republic, and the village staff will conduct semi-annual house counts. We've got staff also keeping a monthly total, so make sure those numbers don't fluctuate in such a manner that we're going to see a large increase. And what is the change? It ensures payment and billing reflect proper house counts and figures. So the village Sauk Village is only getting charged what should be getting charged, and again should reflect on the amount of money that the residents are paying. So that's the agreement there. So anyone else? All right, seeing none, we'll go to item 5, miscellaneous, item 6, no, 5. Miscellaneous business, comments from trustees, Trustee Williams.
The 60th anniversary, this committee is planning a casino trip, as a fundraiser to raise money for the 60th anniversary. That casino trip will be on November 11th. The fee is $35. You will see the forms on the back table for anybody who's interested in going. Those registration ends October 28th. So you need to submit this form with the $35 to the village clerk, or myself, address the village clerk, or you can also go to the County Public Library and turn this in. Once again, this is for a fundraiser for the 60th
All right, thank you very much. Trustee Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Last week, Thursday, the trustees received an email from the village finance director requesting a release of funds for trustee Washington for the book bags. At that time, I asked to see the receipts that was taken in so we can see that we had the money there before we released the check. At that time, the village finance director, this was all on email, didn't contact me until after hours stating that there was no receipts, that they were actually asking to have this money advanced. That was on a Thursday evening because I didn't get the communication until that afternoon. And at that time, it was a lot of trustees up here, including Trustee Washington, that we didn't know anything about until after, I guess, we dispersed, went our own ways. My question to you, sir, and to the village administrator, was that check released? And if so, I'd like to find out from the trustees tonight which trustee okayed to have that check drawn. I'd like to poll, and because if you don't have the money, and as we all know, we don't have budgets. The trustees don't have a budget. We have to go get our money the best way we can. Only one that has come close to a budget is the Parks and Recs, which they do have a line item, and that's due from the taxes. So I do know other trustees have money, and we do periodically get a tally of what they have, but I wanted to know, with your permission, to ask the trustees, because I asked the question and all I was told was the check was issued. But I'm asking tonight which trustees, because I understand that, and I'm gonna start with the trustee that's in charge of the money, or in charge of the finance, I won't say committee, but in charge of being a liaison from the trustees to the finance director to find out who authorized to have that check cut. Because I know I wasn't one, and I did ask for clarification if we had the money. And if it was cut, and he did say in his email that it was in advance, then I'd like to know what is this board going to do about it. So I would like to find out from Trustee Williams, did you authorize?
Hang on, Trustee. I think first of all, what we need to make sure we clear up is the monies that was advanced for the book bags was not money coming from the general fund. It was not money from taxpayers. It was money that the Neighborhood Watch went out and did fundraisers and stood on corners. So they were not provided any additional funds except for money that they had already collected. So this
his email stated that there was no money, no receipts, that it was in advance.
Go ahead, J.W.
As I told you, Trustee Burgess, when you asked me, I said, I didn't think so, and I would find out if there was any money in advance. I told you that if there was a check, I would tell you that. And I told you that Mr. Mohan made a mistake because he should not have sent out the check because it was not village funds. That's what the issue was. That's what, and I asked Mr. Mohan, why did he send it out if it was raised by the trustees? I mean, it's the same as the trustees that have passed, Trustee Williams, everybody else, with the village money. I pretty much said, told you that I'm pretty sure it didn't happen. It did not happen. I talked to Mr. Mohan about why he sent it out. I mean, I don't understand if there's something, one of the Parks and Recs that they pick up. That's what we should give them up. What you do with money that's not village money, if you earn it, you pick it up. Whatever your fundraisers are. I understand, problem.
And that's what it was finally informed, that it was money that she had fundraised for book bags. So,
But it was placed in the account.
Again, you don't have receipts until someone buys something.
No, I didn't say no. Receipts from money coming in, sir. Not receipts for money going out. He stated, I don't have any receipts, and Trustee Washington is asking for an advance to purchase on Saturday, August 13th, for the book bags for the kids. Asking, this is what was given to me. And I asked, so what else can I do? If you got this, would you ask the same question? If you're asking for an advance, then that's what it is, it's an advance. This is what he said, I don't have any receipts. I asked him to show me the receipts of the money that came in, not the purchases. Not the purchases of anything that they brought. Yes, you're correct. It was told to us that they had collected X amount of money. Fine. All I wanted to do was see the receipts that were, or whatever you want to call it. Someone gave a receipt. If she turned money into the village, someone had to give a receipt. She just doesn't turn it in, and I know no one turns money in without having accountability. So if she turned money into the village, all fine. All I asked is to show me how much was in that account. And if that money was not in that account, as he said, I don't have any receipts, but she's asking for, I didn't make this up, this is on here. He's asking for an advance. So if they're asking for an advance, then whose money is it? You keep saying it's not the village money. This is not Sauk Village Savings and Loan. There's no, I mean, if money's not in there, then fine, ask for an advance. Say, hey, I don't have the money. I'm short X amount. Trustees, can I get this money so I can get these book bags? That's all. But that's why I'm asking, who okayed, because I understand now the check was cut. And all I'm asking, Mayor, and I'm asking the trustees, who gave the consent to cut that check? Somebody had to. I'm sure that she doesn't walk up there and say, give me the money, I need to pay this, and I'll pay you back, or whatever. This was sent out. The second thing, the first communication that was sent out to two trustees. Trustee Myers and Trustee Williams. Trustee Williams said that they should, all the trustees should get a copy of this before we go any further. That's why it was sent out. Originally, it was sent out to just the 3 trustees. But Trustee Williams asked that all the trustees be addressed in this. That email I got. So thank you, Trustee Williams, for doing that. I appreciate that, because had that not happened, this would not have happened. We would have never known about it. So that's why I'm asking, what trustees, Mayor? Simple question, very easy. What trustees said yes, cut the check? If you got a quorum, fine. That's all I'm asking.
I think go to the Parks or Neighborhood Watch first, and how much funds have you raised and everything?
Over $3,500. We have another $800 coming in today. First, do I have the floor now?
What's that?
Do I have the floor now? First of all, I talked to you, Mr. Fairman. I think that you told me that Trustee Burgess came in and asked you these questions already, and you already answered the questions. Evidently, he had the need or feel the need to ask them again tonight in front of everybody, which I absolutely do not care. You would never catch me doing something that I'm not supposed to be doing, ever. I don't care where you ask it or who you ask about. I've been collecting money all my life, from church to schools, wherever I go. I know the policy, I know the rules. Second of all, this is all money that was donated to us, Neighborhood Watch, that I chair. For those that are in the audience that don't know what's going on, I chair Neighborhood Watch. Trustee Myers co-chair Neighborhood Watch. We have been soliciting, from having plays to tagging to having different kinds of fundraisers, whether they're public churches, businesses, private donors that have been giving from April all the way to date to help us meet this goal. We have done this for 3 years. This is just a personal attack on me. Everybody knows why it is going on. We have the money. We have 500 book bags, and they all will be stuffed in this rotunda tomorrow at 10 a.m. by some of the biggest companies in Sauk Village. Some gave 1,000, some gave 500. So we have the money already here. When I asked Mohan for the check, when he contacted the Finance Committee that Trustee Williams and Trustee Myers sit on, and she gave her reply, he continued to do what he has to do. And all of that's fine. I don't care about any of all of that. But I just wish that the members of this board, particularly Trustee Burgess, would be that diligent when it comes to every dime in this village, and who signed for the check, and where the village went, where the money went, who chased the money, who gave the authority to spend the money. And I just want to say, it's no disrespect to you, Trustee Williams. You've been doing this a long time. Trustee Williams has a bank account for her committee that don't even go through the general fund. They have another whole bank account at a bank somewhere else. Do you know who signed those checks, Trustee Burgess? Do you know how much is in that bank account? Do you know what she sends, what she uses that money for? I've never heard you ask one question about cops, that they changed from Police Alliance to public relations to what they do with a beautiful program with student government. They raise money for all of that. Where did the money go? Who authorized you all to get a check for it? And for nothing else, it's personal against me. But it's okay, because you're not going to never catch me doing nothing I shouldn't be doing. And anything that I do, I got the authority to do it. And I got the money to back it up. And when we get through with these 500 book bags that's costing about $3,000 plus, I'm going to have over $1,000 left in the bank.
I still didn't get my question answered. Where, I just asked, my question was, I just wanted to see the receipts that were turned in to the village for the money that was collected. And I myself,
Hang on. Trustee?
cut the check. Simple. If you,
I'm one that gave it.
I'm going to respect you. I'm going to respect
I'm
you.
respecting you, trust me.
I'm going to respect
I am
you.
respecting you, trust
Hang
me.
on. Well, can you please stop for a second?
There's a
All
lot.
right, Trustee Washington, please. All right, we've had a good meeting already. We've had talked about positive stuff, okay? The trustee's got a question. Okay, we'll try to get the answer. If we don't have the answer, we'll get the answer. I can't give you receipts. I can't give you how much money came in. Well, do me a favor. Give a Mohan tomorrow and make sure we have that, okay? The trustee, when I was contacted, the question was, can we issue the check? Okay? I had the same question you had. Where's the money coming from? Okay? I was informed that this is money that the Neighborhood Watch Committee had already collected, and it was theirs. So when I said if it's their money they've already collected 4 book bags, I don't have a problem with a check being issued. Okay? Because it was money that they collected. It's just like any trustee out here. Any trustee that has fundraisers, if you're doing a fundraiser for a certain thing, I would never hold your money up for whatever you're doing it for, okay? But trustee, I can't give you receipts tonight, but I will work on making sure that we provide those receipts because, okay, trustee, hang on, okay? But to go on and on for something that I cannot provide tonight, but I want that tomorrow, okay? So we'll pull that out. Again, because when it came to me, I asked the same question, where's the money coming from? And I was informed that it's money that the Neighborhood Watch Committee, and I was told that they did their show, they were standing on the street, they were standing on the street the day that she asked for the funds. So I was told that the money was sitting there, that money they collected. So, well, we'll get the receipts for you.
All I'm saying, that was the first thing, Mayor, because I did go to the village. I did ask the village finance director, I emailed him, and his email you just saw stated that it is in advance, no receipts. That was my first question. My second question.
And again, trustee, hang on. Again, I just want to respond to that where I just wonder if there was a miscommunication because he's thinking that you're wanting to see the receipts for the money that's going to be spent. And maybe, again, I can't speak for him, he's not here. But maybe that's why he said there's no receipts yet because she hasn't spent the money. Okay. I did also say, and we're all sitting here. I did also did I tell you or tell Mohan? Make sure to tell the trustee. Make sure you bring your receipts in for your book bags.
And there are $2,000
So, all right. Again, I'm thinking that there might be a communication error or miscommunication. Folks, please, if you would.
That the taxpayers paid? He said, no. I said, why did you put down there, that it was, in a statement that it appeared like you were already.
Could you use a mic, please?
No.
And he said, no.
We'll try to get your answer for you.
It's only because.
And the second question, Mr. Mayor, was I just wanted to know which trustees voted to cut the check. Because I'm sure you have to have a consensus to cut the check that one person, whoever it may be on this board, cannot walk up to Mohan and say, give me a check because you know I have the money. That's all I'm asking.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, just for you.
To answer part of your question, I was one of the people that voted to approve it. The finance director and the village administrator called me and told me that after the finance director sent out the email, it was questioned to me why I stated that the entire board should have to have the email. And it wasn't something that needs to go out through email and to get a consensus because it was the money that the trustee had raised herself. My response to that was, the way the email read suggested that there was a possibility of an advance. And that's why I thought it should be the whole board and not just the Budget and Finance Committee, which is why Trustee Myers and I got the email. Because we're part of Budget and Finance Committee. So I said it needs to go out to everybody if there needs to be a consensus. What was explained to me was, no, this was in fact money that she had raised, and then therefore didn't need a board consensus because it doesn't come from a village fund. And just to, that's why I sent out that email, Trustee. And to reference what Trustee Washington said, and I did speak with this with the finance director, the village administrator too. Yes, I'm different, and fortunately, I don't have to go through the same rigmarole because my money doesn't come through the village. Because prior to 3 administrations ago, I set up a bank account at U.S. Bank. It's not crazy, it's right over there. I set up a bank account at U.S. Bank, and there are 2 signatures on that account, myself and Nan Wargo, who's also on my committee. One of us have to sign each check that comes through. And we do provide, when we do an event, we do provide the board with updates. This is what came in, this is what came out. But why it may not be discussed in a major forum like this, trust and believe every event that I have done or has had my name or the village clerk's name on it for the past 4 years has been voided. So the information has been out there because it has been voided multiple times of exactly what has come in and what has come out. Which as soon as the event closes the next day, it is receipt time. It is, this is the receipt, this is what we came in, we're prepared for it. So when the FOIA comes in the next day, we submit it because we know it's coming. So that's not an issue. It's just, I don't have to go through that because like I said, I was grandfathered into because of the bank account. Now speaking of this bank account, I know I've mentioned this before, the actual physical statement comes here. But I don't even get it. I don't even see them. Mohan pulls them when they get in the mail. Mohan gets them. Mohan files them. I don't even see the statement. So we don't even look at the bank account until we're trying to do something for Student Government Day, for Carol's Cocoa and More, for whatever we're trying to do. But it's a little bit, the reason why I approve that is because when you go out and you set out and you raise money for a specific intent, it doesn't come through, we don't pull it through the village. If I'm raising money for Student Government Day and I get the checks from, our vendors, or you've heard me, all have heard me ask for money at board meetings. Residents will come up to me and give me $20 after a board meeting. That goes right down, village clerk's office. Rosie Williams, $20 this day. So we keep a track of it. And then when it's time to do something for Student Government Day, I don't bring that before the board to say, I had to spend $176.56 on Student Government Day breakfast. I had to do this and this. We don't do that during, we do that after. So, and we'll provide that in the FOIA. So that's why, because it's not village fund, it didn't meet that. But again, I just am under the idea that if a couple trustees get an email, it's something that should go out to the whole board. I think that this whole generalization, there was a big miscommunication. I think that maybe Mr. Rao misunderstood your email as far as the receipts, and I think that the idea of this needing to get a board approval was also a misunderstanding by the finance director because it in fact did need to get board approval. As long as the funds were in there.
Trustee, I'm going to read you my email that I sent to him, and then you tell me if this is iffy. I said, I need to see the receipts of the $2,300 she took in. Also, why wasn't this talked about at the board meeting and also today as I was there, and so was Trustee Washington. Also, I want to know who voted and what they voted and why it's so important at the last minute and it was not discussed at the meeting. That's what I wrote to Mr. Mohan at 5:07 August 11 on Thursday. Now, the comment that you said, you are absolutely right. You do not ask the village to issue a check. Your money comes from your bank and you bring it in as a courtesy to let them know what you spent it on and how much you received and what your statement is. You did not ask Mohan to issue a check to pay anything. This the reason why this is done this way is, and I'm tired, we have all type of problems when it comes to accounting here. We've been through that. So I want to know if that check says Village of Sauk Village and is signed by whoever it is, the signature, someone had to give them that okay. Fine. I just want to know the receipts that were taken in. I'm sure Trustee Washington does not just come in and give the village a $500 and no accountability for that. No one does that. Here's $500, just put it on the thing and I'll take care of it later. You have to know that there's a way that they have to know how much is, how would you know how much is in your account unless you keep track and keep receipts? We all know that. All I'm asking, and that's all I asked Mohan, was the copy of the receipts of how much she took in. If she took in $3,000, fine, let me see. And you're absolutely right. If she did, then there's no problem. Go ahead.
You know, I'll tell you something, Mr. Board. I $900 for these book bags, and I was going to take it out of my pocket to make sure these book bags that the kids got. That I did, and that no reimbursement. I did that because they're going to the kids. I do the same thing for those kids over there, that's the price. And I say, I wouldn't say anything about this, but you know, I did this out of my pocket. I got it on my credit card, and I paid for it.
Okay, but that's still not account. Someone, no, it's not, sir. Someone had to account. Someone has to know how much is in that account. Simple question. We're talking about this for the next 15 minutes, last 15 minutes. All I asked was accountability. 101. Is the money there? If it is, I want to see a receipt, and if it's not, who authorized to write that check? Simple. We can go on and on and on. You go back and forth. It's a simple question. Do you have $5? I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to use my credit card. No. Do you have $5? And that's all I'm at. If you don't have $5, then fine. Then I'll loan it to you. But in the meantime, there's accountability. It's very easy. 1 and 1 is 2. If you don't have it, then why don't you say, hey, I don't have the money. I would like the village to front to advance the money. Is there a consensus of that happening? Because I've been out here all this time talking about book bags and I need to make this happen. That's no problem. But to sit here and ask for a village check with no accountability that, other than, yes, I put it in there. If you put it in there, show me. That's easy. Show me. That's all I'm asking, man. I'm not going back and forth for this. This will be the last time I'm going to say this. All I want to know is what trustees okayed the payment of that $2,100. That's all I'm asking.
Trustee Myers.
Chance to talk.
Hang on. Trustee Myers.
Thank you. Trustee, I received an email, asked the same thing. I'd like to know if you get issued a check for $2,000 for Trustee Washington.
You can speak up.
I sent. I talked this way and said. And then I came back to Mohan and said, if we have $2,000 and the money we have collected, I don't see any problem in issuing her the check. Mohan came back. Now I talked too long and it went off again. Mohan came back and said that, Trustee Myers, you probably have $2,300 of revenue that you have collected. And I came back, go ahead and issue a check. That's stuff, that donation that we came in.
Question answer. Thank you very much. Question answer. I know who it was. Thank you very much.
All right. You can do it during your time. Trustee.
I also wanted to.
I'm going to take time to do it.
Okay. Go ahead. Trustee Burgess. Now, folks, please.
Mr. Mayor, I wanted to talk and find out from you when we could. I talked to Mr. Fairman and I talked to Kevin Weller about the aspect of how you're going to handle the questions from now on as far as public works. So I need to have a scheduled meeting, but they all tell me it has to go through you, so because you have to give the directive to make that happen. So I'm asking you now, when can we do that? If so, they can email me or call me or whatever, so we can sit down. because questions that were asked today about public works and things like that, if I have, knowledge of that, I would definitely pass that along. So that's something that we need to, since things have changed, or since the public works is not going to be responsible for questions, I need to have at least once a week or something I can sit down and talk to Director Weller about public works.
All right, Trustee, I'm just look here real quick. Are you free either tomorrow at 5 o'clock or on Thursday at 5 o'clock? You can get back to what you're saying.
Okay.
All right, I tell you right now, I'm free both these days at 5 o'clock. You just let me know what works best for you, and I'll get hold of JW and Kevin. All right? Is that all you have?
Yes, it is.
All right, thank you, Trustee Tate.
Let me start off by, I heard about a casino tour. The IGRC partnership team had planned to have a fundraiser also, which is to the Four Winds Casino, except it's scheduled for the 1st of October. And then I heard Clerk Williams, he heard it's on the 11th, so, I'm sorry, you're in November. Okay, good. So the 1st of October, the IGRC partnership team will be going to the Four Winds Casino for a fundraiser for that group. And I'll need to get permission, the two of us, to come out to the parking lot. So there won't be any problem with that. Okay. So that's for the 1st of October. You'll be getting more information within the next week or so about that. The second item is I had the opportunity Saturday to attend a program that was Jamming for Jesus.
She's still jamming.
This is a program that's sponsored by the Grace United Church of Christ and Pastor Melody Seaton. And some of you may have met her. She's been in the village less than 2 years, but she kind of hit the ground running and doing things in the community that benefits the community. As a matter of fact, I met some people who are outside of Sauk Village that came to the program on Saturday. So the good word spreads. One thing about this program is that demonstrations for immunizations, blood pressure testing, dentistry. They sign families up with children who need winter coats that are coming up. They sign them up so they get winter coats. So a lot was going on in that one day, believe it or not. If you wanted to dance, they were dancing. If you wanted to play musical chairs, they were playing musical chairs. So there was just a lot going on. And I think not only Pastor Seaton, but the congregation from Grace need to be commended for bringing something really positive to Sauk Village. It was a great day. They had probably a dozen vendors that were there for you to spend your money, buying different things. There was food, of course, and one of the most popular items was the grilled corn on the cob, which a certain trustee by the name of Burgess cooked himself. So there was a lot that was going on for that day, and that's a real positive thing for Sauk Village. And Pastor Seaton even had individuals, and to include herself, that if you wanted to have a moment of prayer, one-on-one, not in a church, just one-on-one, they took time to be with you, to share whatever you want to share in a moment of silence, a moment of open prayer, actually. So that was a really, really good thing for Saturday. I heard about the school district earlier, and I think they'd be commended for one thing that we're facing here in the municipality. They discovered they had asbestos in their schools, and they jumped on it right away and had that taken care of. And we're kind of still behind the 8 ball here in the village, and we need to start moving as rapidly as they did. So that was real positive, because now they help create an environment that's safe for not only the students, but for the employees and any visitors to those buildings where they discovered they had asbestos. So Margaret Campbell Pruitt, Vice President 168, I commend you and your district for what you did to protect us with that asbestos issue. So that's clean. One final thing is that I had a parent and a Bloom Trail student. He said he was 17, and they wanted to have a meeting or session with our police officers here in Sauk Village. And the student stopped me on Saturday, and he was concerned about all of the strife that we're seeing coast to coast in this country. And he's concerned about how his peer group interacts with police. So he asked, and the parent asked, that we would put on some kind of a seminar or workshop or something where he can explain, well, this is what we look for when we pull you over in a traffic situation, or here's what you should not do. It's an education piece, and I think it's a positive education piece. If we can do something in Sauk Village to prevent any occurrences that we're seeing, I think we should do it. Mr. Mayor, I'm going to leave that with you and the chief, or however you want to work that out, to see if you want to do that and put some kind of seminar or workshop or whatever you want to call it together, where we can get anyone that's interested in how to interact with the police force or the proper way, what they see, what they think, what they feel, and then you as a resident can talk about the same things. Then you'll have a meeting of the minds, I think. You'll know what they're expecting you to do. You know what you should and should not do. And I think it works out better if we're proactive on this team. So that's kind of a final note for me. Thank you.
Thank you. I got the thumbs up from the chief, so I know that we're pre-hearing maybe one of his reports, a future date and when you plan on doing this. So thank you very much.
Well, it definitely was a busy weekend. I also attended the church function, and that was a great experience. And Saturday we had the K. Jones Learning Center come out to the community center and out in the park. And that was a very good turnout, and they did haircuts right there on the spot. They did over 35 haircuts during the event, and that was my first time interacting with K. Jones, Camilla Jones, and that's a resource that we all should tap into. She's located in the library there for after-school programs. And I'm looking forward to working with her in the future. And also, on the 23rd, there will be asbestos removal from the community center. And also on the 23rd, the other latter half of the day, they would be removing the asbestos from the police station. On the 26th, we're trying to start Uno nights we're going to start with the kids, and then we're also integrating the parents. We're going to try to start a Uno party on Fridays in the community center from 5 to 8. And of course, every last Saturday of the month is open gym. And the 17th of September is coming, and that's corn and dog roast. That should be something quite different. We got a lot of participation from the intergovernmental side, and we're gonna have a lot of different things. And I'm looking forward to it, and I hope to see you all there. Thank you.
Trustee, what time was corn dog?
That's from noon to 5.
5.
Yes.
Well, we're gonna have some activities outside. We're gonna have movies playing inside the community center and popcorn too.
I have a question. Are you going to be using the basketball court outside? The outside basketball court?
Yes, it'll be open. Yes, because we plan on having the sack race. We want to utilize the whole park.
The reason I'm asking is because I got approached about putting on a 3-on-3 tournament, and the 17th was one of those days. Again, I think that if we can do another event at the same time, that bring more people out to corn and dog roast, and hopefully be able to give you more people there. If you're not going to, and all we need is the outside basketball court. So if you don't mind,
More the merrier.
okay.
I think. I mean, that's bringing more people in.
What I'll do is when I have them advertised for 3-on-3, I'll have them advertised about the corn on dog roast also, so that way people know to come and spend their money.
Sounds good.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. Trustee Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Quite a few things. First of all, I want to announce that we are having our neighborhood watch meeting the second Monday of every month at the fire station at 7 o'clock. We're looking for block club captains. If you know anyone on your block that you think would be a good block club captain, you can let them know to meet us on the second Monday. Our next meeting will be on September the 12th at the fire station. Also, I want to make a comment in regard to Trustee Burgess' inquiry about Neighborhood Watch making financial deposits into the village, as well as asking for a check so that we could go shopping this weekend. Of course, the book bag giveaway is Thursday. There's a village hall meeting tonight, Tuesday. The only day that we have to pack all 500 of these book bags is tomorrow, Wednesday. So our committee had to shop all day, Saturday and Sunday in various stores all over to make this happen. I want to also say that, like all the other committees, there was nothing in the budget for Neighborhood Watch this year. We received absolutely not one dime from the village. As a committee, we could have made a choice to just not do it, or we could do what we did, get out and have fundraisers to make it happen. And as usual, the residents of Sauk Village stepped up and they saw what was going on and they heard about it and they rallied to the cause, as they always have in the last 3 years, and I appreciate them for that. I'm concerned that trustees are so concerned about what Neighborhood Watch is doing when our records are in place. And none of the money came from the village. In fact, Sauk Village didn't give a damn for these 500 book bags or supplies. But money that did come from the village, I'm gonna say again, for us to go to IML downtown, every elected official received $300 from this village out of taxpayers' money to go to a conference and stay at a hotel, and we got $300 to go. We were supposed to either bring the money back or bring the receipts back. Several of these trustees, elected officials, did not bring the receipts back. Not only did they not bring them back this year, they didn't bring them back last year. And there's no question asked about it. Nobody wants to know nothing about it. Nobody cares about it. But that's the village money that you don't care absolutely nothing about knowing where it went. Amazing to me. Also, somebody mentioned that, oh, well, that was a line item. So is Neighborhood Watch, so is everything else. It doesn't matter if it's on the line item or in the budget. If you take money from anywhere, you're supposed to bring back a receipt. That's the 101 common sense with money, as far as I'm concerned. Moving further in that same arena, I'm going to make it very explicitly known to everyone that attends that book bag giveaway of the great adversity I have had to face in my committee. And my committee members, they would love to stand at that microphone, land up all the way down that hallway and talk for 3 minutes. But I encourage them to not come here, to take the high road. What we're doing for the children. And we all know why I'm being attacked. It's a personal attack on me. It's a political season, but it's all good. And it's going to even get greater. So I expect this to continue from now all the way to April against me personally. When there are other people up here that's collecting money, have bank accounts, take tax money, don't bring back receipts, and nothing is said about it, but people want to know where's the money that Trustee Watch didn't have. We want to poll everybody about it and ask everybody about it, and the money is clearly there. Mr. Fairman just said he said his company donated $900 for book bags. Mohan did not order nothing or did not give no checks until the money was there and accounted for before he gave it to me, period.
Show the check.
Third or fourth of all, we talked about Republic and we talked about the garbage. When I asked Mr. DeLuca if we did not enter into this agreement, when would be the last time that they would pick up garbage? When would they stop? His answer to me was immediately. We would not pick up another can of garbage immediately if this agreement is not entered into. I asked somebody, how long has Republic / Skyline been dealing with Sauk Village and picking up the garbage? I think somebody said, Mayor, over 40 years, over 60 years.
Oh, wow.
Okay, his father, and it's like a generational, and so they forgave Sauk Village, although we owed them over $300,000 because of the longevity of the relationship with that business. So for them to ask for another 10-year contract, and they've been doing this for 62 years.
All right, folks, please.
My only concern is if the attorneys had a chance to review the contract and the ordinance just to make sure that we're doing everything that we can for the residents. Also, I wanted to ask a question. I didn't know if they were going to leave. If we default and don't make the payment, will the amount that they're forgiving us to start at zero all over again, will it continue to just go forward, or will they default and they'll go back and want that whole $300 and some thousand again? Because that's a question that came up, and I didn't get an answer from Mr. DeLuca about that. So before we meet next Tuesday, if the attorney, do you know if the attorney reviewed the contract or the ordinance? They did, and it's all fine?
Yes. In fact, they reviewed the contract, and they were the ones that did the ordinance.
Okay. And I want to invite everyone that have children or you have neighbors on your block that you think could use a free book bag with supplies to meet us at Rickover at 5:30 Thursday. They have a back to school bash that starts at 4, but we will not be passing out book bags until 5:30. We're going to pass out 2 book bags per household. And they have to live in Sauk Village and show their ID. The Neighborhood Watch Committee is very excited. We met our goal of 500. It was a great endeavor, but after a lot of hard work went into it. And I just have to say, in conclusion, my committee received a lot of rebuttal all on social media and Facebook about the book bags, and it was a stupid thing to do, and don't nobody care about book bags. But today there's been 4 book bag giveaways in the village. Amazing.
Thank you, Trustee Myers.
Just a couple of things. I have one question to ask the mayor. I was approached by department heads and asked, do we have liaisons anymore for departments? One time we had a liaison, trustee was a liaison for individual department. Do we still have liaisons for the different departments?
Currently, we have liaison for the finance. That's your all's committee. You're working with Mohan. We have liaison Trustee Burgess with Public Works.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then of course the rest of them should be safety, which would be police, fire, ESDA, code, and administration. I'll go through JW and myself.
Okay. All right. Second thing is that Saturday I was honored to be at the church, and unfortunately I didn't make all the other ones, but this was particular. I met a lot of old friends, and it was just a good time, fellowship, and as Trustee Jones pointed out, the pastor was very nice, and then came up, we talked and so forth. I got a sunburn, I was spending a lot of money, and I had a good time. He was signed up, a couple of firefighters said they would come down and join the department. So that's what it's all about. Just, we gotta work together. Got to work together. And with that, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see if I can get through everything real quick so I can get you out here before 9 o'clock, all right? First of all, I'd like to thank the churches for Saturday. There was 2 events going on. You had the United Church of Christ. Grace United Church of Christ, sorry about that. And we had the Church of God there having one also. So thank you very much for the kids. I'd like to thank Parks and Recs and K. Jones for putting one. I think there's on Sunday. And then we have one more coming up with Neighborhood Watch on Thursday. So again, I know there still has to be a lot of kids out there that probably don't have book bags. So please make sure you get the word out there, okay? Remember, it's about the children, okay? Don't let what happened here tonight discourage you. Go out there and let those kids know there's something out there for them, okay? Again, I appreciate it. Again, thank you for all the ones, the volunteers, everyone who was involved in all the book bags. Thank you very much. Just lost my notes. There you go. Sorry about that. I will let them know that the 3-on-3 is good for the 17th, and we'll go ahead and start getting the information out. Thank you very much. There's information on the back. Here we go. Call if you can, text if you can't. Again, there's a lot of information, but if you have a landline, the important thing, pick up a landline first. Okay, I think this information is in the back. All right, we've got the new texting ability through the Joint Dispatch Center, through CalCom, so that's good. A couple weeks ago, we had someone here from Bloom Township. Again, they have the regular food pantry distributions. You can register members will be able to participate once a month beginning July 11th. And going through, it's Mondays from 3 p.m. to 7 and Wednesdays from 10 to 2. Bloom Township residents can become a registered member by bringing in a government-issued ID and a current utility bill with your name on it prior to the distribution. All right, and the information's out there, but if you need to contact someone, it's 708-543-2555. I think there's information on the back desk. This information's back there also, so look for the front and back. Starts off with Bloom Township News and information about the food pantries on the back, right in the back top corner. I was asked to make sure to get this information up. The 6th annual salute to the armed forces will be held in the Grand Ballroom at the Doubletree Hotel Hilton in Sauk, located at 5000 West 127th Street. All branches of servicemen and women will be honored for serving their country with pride and dedication at a ceremony on Thursday, October 13th at 1 p.m. The doors will open at noon. All honorees must pre-register to attend. Right, so if you know anyone who's been served our country, please make sure you get this information out to them. Let's see here. I'd like to first, I'm not in any certain order, but first of all, I'd like to thank the board tonight. I think we had a very positive meeting. I think there was a little bit of dialogue. There's nothing wrong with dialogue. But I appreciate what was brought before the board tonight. I appreciate the conversations that we had. And I think anyone sitting out in the audience, you might think that maybe something's got kind of heated, but you know what? I think whenever we're talking about something that we're passionate about, right? We might, and I had the same problem. When I'm passionate, I might come across a little hard sometimes. But I tell you what, I think we had some good dialogue, good talking tonight. So I appreciate the positive things that were on the agenda, and Trustee Tate's kudos go to you. So thank you very much. Let's see here. Saturday was a full day for me also, but I went over to, and I guess on a sad note, I'm going to start with a sad note and then we're going to end on a positive note. On Saturday, I took the family over to Sauk Village Cafe, and while I was there, I met with the owner. And without getting into all their business, there's 3 owners that are part of Sauk Village Cafe. 2 of the owners are walking away. So their last day, the date he gave me will be September 30th on their last day. So I would ask any residents, if you're going out to eat, you know, go to Sauk Village Cafe. You know, I've gone there with a family. They've got some great food. I don't think I've ever gone there. I like their Saganaki, the flaming cheese. I love it. I love their cheese, cheddar balls. I always get to see them. It seems like the same thing. I always get a patty melt with extra cheese and things like that. But I tell you, it was always a nice restaurant to go to, and it still is. They're going to be here through the end of next month. So again, I just want to make sure that you heard it. You heard it here before you start hearing rumors and everything going all over the place. But there's an issue with the owners. There's 3 owners that have that, and they all have a certain percentage, and 2 of them have decided to walk away. So that's a sad note. I'd like to end on a positive note. We had a very positive meeting tonight. Received a letter today from the Illinois Department of Natural Resources. I don't know if anyone remembers, and by the next meeting we'll make sure we put the board back out here. One thing we took off our budget this year, if everyone remembers, $335,000, because everyone wanted to talk about it, right? Well, Maybe we should have left it on there. It says, this letter is to provide you an update on your organizations on the status of your open space lands acquisition and development, which is an OSLAND project. As a current grant awardee, remember we've been down in Springfield talking about this, right? I told everyone that money was sitting there. And every time I went down to Springfield, I was down there talking to someone. Okay? As a current grant awardee with a suspended project, the Illinois Department of Natural Resources wishes to inform you that the recently passed Public Act, which provided $50 million in appropriations for OSLAND grants and associated costs of the program. It is the intent of the department to seek obligations for your grant and restore your project to its pre-suspension status. Now, your 2015 OSLAND grant award agreement was signed by your organization, but due to full execution of the project as originally intended, upon full execution of the grant agreement, an above referenced project is hereby unsuspended, and you may proceed per the terms of the executed grant agreement. So, I don't know if anyone remembers all the work we did to get this grant. This is for Arrow Park. We'll bring the board back out. I was going to bring it out tonight and I forgot. It's sitting in my back office. But this is a $235,000 grant. We'll pull all the numbers again. This will put in a quarter-of-a-mile walking path. This will update all of our baseball fields. This will put in new batting cages. Will fix up brand new playground equipment. This is all, if you want to know where Arrow Park is, this is behind Wagner School. So there's new signage that is to go on over by Peterson Avenue and over by, what is that? It's not Orion, Merrill, over by Merrill. So we'll have to sit down because, kind of give you an idea, we worked hard on this before you became trustee, okay? And kind of give you an idea, we put together this whole entire grant package on what it was going to consist of, what had to be done. I had to go down to Springfield to the ID&R and give a presentation before a board of like 6 or 8 people. Okay, we were granted the award, and when Governor Rauner became mayor, he put a suspension on all OSLAND grants. Okay, so this letter is great news, and they are going to start getting the money rolling, so that we can go ahead and start getting this program going. So, like I said, we've had a positive meeting. I went in on a positive note. I know a lot of people have been watching this, and I know we did take this out of our budget this year because we went for, 2 or 3 years wondering if we were ever going to get the money. So it's positive. So with that said, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn. Got a motion? Is there a second? All in favor say aye. Meeting adjourned.